Hey, and welcome back to the Captain's Quadrant. I'm Joe Dove, and I am very excited to bring to you a Section 31 and a half as we have questions interview with the amazing Joe Pingue, who played Dada Noe on Section 31, the movie, not the interview show that we're doing right now. Joe, how are you? Welcome to the Captain's Quadrant.
I'm good. Good to see you, Joe.
Yeah, you
I
too,
love
man.
that T-shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's
Look at that
available on
thing.
our merch store, Captain's Quadrant. The link will
I
be
gotta get
below in
one
the
of
notes.
those.
I hope you do. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll send you one. There you go. We've done that before. Um,
Hey, if this I'm gonna be on video, you said okay. All right.
yeah, that's true. No. I'm a man of my word. So we'll send you up one. Probably won't be the red. I don't know if we have any red left. But yeah, welcome. You've got to work in Section 31, a Star Trek
Yeah.
movie, straight to streaming, the first straight to stream movie. An incredible experience, I'm sure. But you managed to be a trendsetter, being the in the first film ever to stream. How does that experience work for you?
I'm not sure really. Like I it's just I think it's just like an honor to be in something with Michelle and something that is Star Trek to begin with, and working sci-fi is like my favorite genre to work in as well.
Hmm.
And then on top of that was all the design and the special effects makeup and everything. It was a really incredible experience, the whole thing.
Amazing.
In terms of the streaming, I don't know how that's a big deal though.
I mean, it's
Obviously,
the
I would prefer to, like, if we did get to see it at the premiere
mhm,
on the big screen, and it does serve the big screen very well. Yeah,
it
that
does.
kind of.
Yeah, to me, it's a fun action movie, and that's what I love about it. I do have a big TV,
Yeah.
but I would have preferred to go down into New York City and see it on the really big screen. That would have been an
Hmm.
amazing experience. I haven't seen a Trek movie since the last Kelvin Universe film on the big screen, so I'm missing. I got a Jones, so I'm hoping maybe they'll throw it out there and it'll come back up, or maybe a local theater will pick it up and we'll get to have that opportunity. That'll be cool. So one of the amazing
The way
things,
things are going, the community is so in love with the movie. There's probably definitely going to be a second one. So,
sure,
so yeah, for sure.
yeah. Um, I think it's possible. You never know. The uh, the greatest the greater universe does get a little bit picky, but like in the long run, they're cool. They'll be behind it. You'll see because they
No,
had a lot of to say about Deep Space Nine, and now it's like one of the most beloved shows. So you'll be surprised how all of a sudden, you know what, they go, you know what, this was great, and then the whole
I,
universe will flip out.
I'm blown away by the community because it's something I've never experienced before,
Mm,
and I actually appreciate the fact that the community is very vocal and very passionate actually about the content that comes out, because ultimately, if it's not for them, then who's it for? So
yeah, makes sense.
anyway, I actually think it's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Regardless of whether or not it's well received, I think
Yeah.
it's
Well,
really cool.
I know one of our avid watchers, this guy named My Figure Universe. He really liked the movie, so you definitely have a base that supports you. So
We have
don't I?
one person. That's
No,
great.
there's many of them. There's many. I'm just saying that's just one guy that I know personally.
No, I'm just, as the British say, I'm just taking the piss. But when I did watch it with my wife, who's British, and we saw it at the premiere, and I know the kind of stuff that she watches and that
Mhm.
she's into. And I looked at her at the end of it, and she goes to me. She's like, I'd watch that again. She's like,
Oh, there
I
you
like
go.
that. Yeah, so it's like, they're hitting some sort of vein, and they're obviously hitting a nerve on the other end as
Yeah.
well. But hey, you got it. They're
Hey.
exploring. They're
Yeah.
exploring territory.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And for you, you are a classically trained actor, nominated for multiple screen awards, and a short filmmaker. What
Mhm.
sparked your desire to jump into the entertainment industry? It's a very
Um,
dog industry. So,
it was like it came from high school, doing high school plays, doing um, like sketch work in high school, video work, doing like shorts and all that kind of stuff in high school. When I guess the first camcorders were coming out, like on
oh,
Super 8. I don't know what was it
yeah,
called, High 8. I think High
I
8.
ate. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just from there, knowing you could go into a program post secondary that would train you to do the same sort of stuff. So it was real kind of natural progression, from like performing in high school to realizing you could get trained to do it in post secondary. And because I'm kind of unique looking, it wasn't that difficult to book stuff. But, I wasn't like your leading man type guy. So it's been, it's
Been a journey.
it's been what's that?
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey, and I've done the whole gamut. Like I've done all kinds of stuff, and um, and I really feel like I'm just like starting to hit my stride. At 50, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually starting to figure out how to do this acting thing.
There you go.
So
Hey, there's
yeah, it's
always a
great.
moment.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Awesome. So one of the things I love about your experience is one of the shorts that you got an award for is a short called Chili and Cheese, and it embodies the struggle of a loophole for a store clerk that they're giving out condiments. You get unlimited condiments. What was your inspiration for that role?
Um, well, a couple of things. First, the inspiration was there's kind of like a phenomenon in Canada where you have like an underemployed new Canadian who might be working in the service industry or something, but they're actually trained as an engineer, or in the case of the short film, as a doctor. But
Mm,
when they move here for whatever reasons, for safety or for whatever, they have to uproot, move here. They can't practice as a physician, as in the case of that short.
right.
And it takes years for the accreditation to get completed, which is weird because we have a shortage of doctors here. But anyway,
Oh,
so that was kind of the inspiration to tell that story. And then I'm like, how do I get this across? And I'm like, I gotta do something funny because I think it's kind of like a depressing subject matter. So it's like, let's do something funny, and we can use that as like that's the theme. And then the funny part came just from my real life when I used to rehearse with these guys till 3, 4 in the morning. And coming home, I'd go to 7-Eleven and I would sneak out the condiment in a coffee cup. and
real life
the guy
struggles.
the guy working behind the counter, like this is like 3, 4 in the morning. There's no one in there, right? And
Yeah,
me, I'm going in there, like just leave. I can't believe it. The guy called me on it. So,
that's
and I'm like,
crazy.
yeah, I'm like, really? I actually said to him, really? You're gonna call me on this? And I'd gone in many times, and I think he was like sick of being made a fool, and he was like, I know what's in there, and it was like I put a little chili condiment, little cheese condiment in the cup, and then take it out with my burrito, and he just got fed up and didn't
Wow.
allow it. And I was like, man, afterwards, it was a profound thing for me. I was like, wow, that guy's got a story. And then I was like, oh, I could put those two stories together. And then we put
Hmm.
it together, and we won a bunch of funding from the provincial and federal government,
Oh,
and we made this short, and it played internationally at festivals, and it did really well and won awards and stuff. And it was difficult, but it was worth it. It's very difficult to do those kind of things to make a
yeah,
film.
yeah.
It's not.
I'm sure. I mean, I remember
Yes.
as a young man trying to do my own stuff, and I remember like all the red tape I would get just doing stuff like interviewing people on the street type of thing.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. Let me ask you, what was your time like? I know you like to do sci-fi, so what was it like working on Orphan Black, which is one of my favorite sci-fi series? I think that concept, especially in the height of cloning, was a huge, huge draw for me. And knowing that you were in that as a small role, and then you had an amazing experience in the Expanse as well. So, what was the differentiation between like Star Trek, the Expanse, and Orphan Black?
Well, the Star Trek was definitely more of an intense experience because I had like this 5 hour prep to put everything on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was during the strikes, so during the SAG strikes and the writer strikes. So there was a lot of lead up time, a lot of prep time to kind of figure out what I was going to do with that character.
Yeah.
The Expanse was something where I don't want to give anything away, but anyway, I just did the pilot, and it's television, so you literally get cast 1 week, and the next week you're working. It's really quick, the turnaround. So that was kind of difficult. The actual Expanse was very difficult, and it was the pilot, so they had like 60 or 70 pages.
Oof.
I remember the script was 70 pages for 42 minutes or whatever the time, right? So that's a lot of pages.
That's a
And
lot.
yeah, so I remember everything being really jammed in there, and it was difficult. And Orphan Black was like kind of another different thing because you don't really know what's happening from
Yeah.
episode to episode, because it's like this you don't really know what's happening. You
Yeah.
don't know if you don't know where your character's, the trajectory of your character, at least my character was going. So that was hard to it's good though. It's good that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't see. I mean,
I mean, you got to work with a lot of amazing people
mm-hmm.
in your time with sci-fi, so it's got to be a great
But
experience.
yeah,
And now,
Tatiana's like incredible. She was
yeah,
like amazing, and you would think like when you're working with someone who's playing all these different parts that they would be kind of stressed out, but she wasn't in the least bit. She's like just having a great old time. It's like she handled it beautifully. And like Michelle is like, they say don't meet your heroes, but for in her case, nothing's further from the truth. Like she is absolutely a gem. Like she is so
awesome.
generous, yeah, and so present, and yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so can
And
you?
then
Mhm.
go ahead.
Oh,
No,
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna say, do you want to walk us through the audition process? Did you get to like meet? Was she? Because she's an Academy Award winner. Was she like in the room with the
She's
script? Because
not in the room. No, no. The first time we met would have been at a read through on Zoom.
Mhm.
Then, and that was crazy. I remember like taking screenshots on my iPad. I'm like, I can't believe this. This is crazy. And so that was the first time we met. We did a read through.
Mhm.
Um, the the audition process was like 3 or 4 meetings with just the creators and the director, and you would get notes between each meeting, and that was all done on Zoom and everything. And initially, when the script comes, it has a different name. It was called Dover Court,
Oh.
and yeah. So you didn't, but you knew it was Star Trek, and it comes
Mhm.
across, your desk from your agent, and you're like, yeah, right. As if I'm gonna get this thing, and then they show interest, and so you have these meetings. So back to Michelle. The first time we met was on Zoom during the read through, and the first time we actually met in person was at the studio, the Star Trek sound stages, where the whole cast is there, and you're doing a read through. And it's always very intimidating and scary when you're doing a read through, because there's like 20 people there, and there's
Oh.
executives from CBS and Paramount and casting, and like there's like some big guns there, and Alex is there, and Tune Day and the whole team. It's all there's this huge table, and you're reading for the first time. People are hearing your interpretation of what you have live, and you just have to trust it and that it works. And it was really horrible because at the end of it, they took me aside and they said, "What are you doing? What's going? This is horrible." No, I'm just kidding.
No way. Oh my God. I was like, oh, that's
So,
how did you get through all of that?
I remember I was sitting next to Casey, and she was to my left. I remember watching her because you know, it was with the Zoom, it's kind of hard to get a feel, right? But then in person, it's a lot different. I remember watching her performance, and I just remember saying to her after, I'm like, you're like you. I was like, you have it. I was like, it was hilarious. She was making everybody laugh. It was great. Awesome. But that really stuck out. She was there, and it was the read-throughs are fun. Yeah,
oh, cool.
They rarely do them. They don't do them as much in person anymore. It doesn't happen.
Oh, it's all on like Zoom.
Kinda, or they don't do them.
Oh,
I'm finding. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh wow. So I mean,
yeah.
One of the amazing things about your character is Dada Noe got the first image of the movie all over billboards and all over the internet.
That was insane.
How excited were you for that? It must have been.
I was pretty pumped. I was like, wow. I was like, that's okay. That's crazy. I was really proud of myself. I was like, that's nothing like that's ever happened to me. Where, it was the back of my head though, so it's not like it's and even if it was the front of my head, you wouldn't probably be able to tell that it's me. But it was definitely thrilling. It was amazing. Yeah, and it was kind of cool because you didn't know it was me, right? At the same time, it was kind of cool because I'm like, believe it or not, I'm kind of, yeah. So it was kind of cool, and it was cool when they were promoting the show, like on the morning shows and stuff during the first couple weeks when they were promoting it. They were using a scene that I had with Michelle, so that was cool. That was really cool. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And your character, for those that don't know, I don't know how we meet in Section 31 has a mirror universe counterpart. But the cool thing about your character, he's got all these like modifications, this like cybernetic modifications. How long did that take? And was there a hindrance to your performance that you had to overcome putting all those prosthetics on?
It took about 5 hours. Yeah. So like, just to give you an idea, my first day of shooting, my call time was 2:15 a.m. to be on set for 8:30 blocking.
Wow.
So 2:15 a.m. right, and then so that was insane. And it was the first day of shooting. It was the first day on the film. It was the first thing they shot. And so I was a nervous wreck, and obviously I didn't sleep. So that took to get on the VFX or special effects makeup, that took like 4.5 hours. Then it took another 45 minutes or something to get all the mech on. There's all these lights, like metal mohawk and LED things, which that stuff was like Bluetooth wired into the lighting grid. So the guy so they could control the lights that were on my head. The lighting grid operator would control that. So was there a hindrance? Yeah, it was. So there was never a take when there weren't like 3 or 4 or 5 technicians like up my nose, in the ear, fixing this, glue this, wire this, Bluetooth this right before action, like always, right? But that's like that's kind of good to have that stuff happen because it kind of takes the nerves away from you. You're like, and also there's something a little bit like narcissistic or something when you're like, oh, all these people are fussing over me. This is wonderful. There's a way to turn it into a positive,
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a hindrance. Honestly, it wasn't a hindrance. I loved it. I love it. I'd do it again in a second. I love it.
Awesome.
The more difficult it is, the less time you have to be nervous about your performance.
That's true. That's true. And
Yeah.
since you're fighting Michelle Yeoh, it's even more.
Oh my God.
Just,
We sat down. We sat down and we were in Video Village when I had a break finally, and we were talking, and I think she was watching some video, and then she looked at me, and she said, "We should not kill him. We should not kill him." And I'm like, and I looked at Michelle and I said, "I just don't want you to know, Michelle. I heard that. Everybody heard. Did everybody hear?"
Yeah.
There is now. Apparently, I don't know the Star Trek stuff. I'm really bad about the lore. I'm horrible. I'm sorry. I know a lot of other stuff though, but I do know that there's a Mirrorverse and he's a Deltan, and there's there's a Terran version of him, and then another version. So he could still be kicking around.
Yeah. What do you think that?
Like we said, the movie was so well received by the community, they're just begging for another one.
They want a Dada Noe one-off. They want a short tracks with Dada Noe. Just Dada Noe. We want to know what Prime Universe Dada Noe is doing. What do you think Prime Universe Dada Noe is doing?
I've been seeing that hashtag places. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. What do you think he's up to? What do you think his alternate is doing? You think he still has all the mech, or is he just? Is that the difference between the two?
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. No, I think it's the opposite. I think the Dada Noe that we see, the way I was picturing, is that he's the most vain, vain person out there. He's constantly getting mods done and modified. I think the other Dada Noe is probably the sweetest, nicest guy. So sweet and nice, and I think this is right. Non-Terran, is that right? Like the opposite.
He's right.
He's just like he's like a sweet, sweet, sweet man.
Oh, there you
go. That was the image I was working with.
There's a universe in there for him. We'll hopefully see him back. Yeah, it was just the Dada Noe show. That's what's coming up.
Yeah,
get ready, guys. So let's talk about your demise, since you brought it up. Since Michelle said we shouldn't kill you. What was involved in that, and how much of the stunt work did you do? Because that was full flames.
So the stunt the stunt stuff, when Michelle's hitting me in Omari, we just came up with that on the day, and I was like trying to get even more. I was like, can Michelle maybe kick me? Can we get a kick in? Maybe they didn't go for that. So, but with the Michelle stuff and the Omari stuff, the hitting, that was just week on the day. There's no need to do anything. Now, this guy Nevin, who's my stunt performer, is a legend. Okay, he did these crazy pulls, like these hydraulic pulls. I forget the actual technical term for it. It's horrible. I can't remember it right now. And he did a burn, and he was incredible. He did them both, and he did several takes, and they were amazing. So the stunt work was like, I don't know if you remember, there's like an explosion in the ship, and he gets hit. That was incredible. And then when he gets hit twice by Michelle and then by Omari, those pulls were the ratchets, I think they're called, were incredible. This guy Nevin, he's incredible, and he's like, his background is like he's a championship boxer.
Oh wow!
And he doubled me on Pacific Rim. And it's like he's doubled me on other stuff. Like we're about the same size. I'm a little bit more Rubenesque than he is.
Oh, but very nice way to put it. We're the Rubenesque Joes.
Yeah, but we look. We're both Mediterranean. I think he's Serbian or something, and so we look very similar. And he's amazing. He did an incredible job. Yeah,
I agree. And he had to go through the makeup too, just to get it burned off.
His thing was different. They built a duplicate, like pull on thing.
Oh.
So if you go to my Instagram or his Instagram or Tunde, the director's Instagram, there is a crazy video of him and me, like both Dada Noes staring at each other, and he has his stunt mask on, and it's very, very eerie looking. So he didn't have to do the whole the whole bit. They made this thing that pulls on.
Oh,
For him.
lucky. Hey, he
Yeah,
lucked out.
yeah.
No 5
Yeah,
hours
but
for
he
you, buddy.
risked his life. But he actually he took years off his life. Like, I mean, those
Yeah, that
stunts are
flyer looked so sick. Like it
the
really,
fire crazy.
yeah. I was like, oh my God, how did I not get burned? I was like, oh, I wonder if that was Joe. Like, I was like, I hope Joe didn't do that. Because
You know
that
what?
really great job. They did a great
As an
job.
actor,
Hats
when
off
you're
to 'em.
hard up for money, you think sometimes you're like, I can do it. No,
No.
there's no those guys are another level of talent and athleticism.
Yeah. Chef's kiss to them, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask this. There's a fun fact that I learned about you from your IMDb, and
Right.
that is your first on-screen smooch is with none
Yeah.
other than Willem Dafoe. Can
Yeah.
you divulge the story behind the Boondock Saints kiss?
Sure. Well, it was one of those things I read for Troy Duffy, the director, and it was I think at the time it might have been Patrick Swayze was in talks for casting, not Willem Dafoe.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, and he's playing drag in the scene, and I'm like
Right.
a mobster, and he seduces me, and I got the part because I was like, I played it as if he was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen, and the director was just on the floor, like he loved it, and then it ended up being Willem, who's like top 5 actors of all time. Like I'm just I Platoon and like To Live and Die in L.A. and Wild at Heart. It's like, oh my God, like those are the movies I grew up on, right? So how did it happen? Well, I remember we had lunch first. He's like, I've never done it before on screen with a guy of you, and he's like, no, I haven't done it with anybody. He's like, well, I haven't done it with a guy, so you're my first guy. And I'm like, okay. And I remember we're eating lamb, and it was like a garlicky lamb lunch, and we even were like, are you gonna gun? I'm like, no gun. I'm like, I brush my teeth though after lunch. He's like, I do too. He's like, I always take toothbrush to work. So and then we did it, and we had to do it a couple of times, and it was hilarious because the crew just went ape shit. They just went nuts. So it was hilarious.
That's awesome.
It was fun. Yeah. And then obviously it gets a little crazier further along in the movie, but
right. Yeah, that was a while. And if you haven't seen Boondock Saints, go back and watch it. It's a great film.
Yeah, Boondock Saints, like that toilet stunt. I want to talk about stunts. The toilet stunt in that movie.
Yeah,
I think that might be the best one. And we got to see the rushes because they would take back in the day they would take the crew on Fridays, like late, we have a couple cases of beer, and you watch the rushes. They bring a TV to the set, and you watch the rushes. And I was there on Friday, and we were watching the toilet stunt rushes, and I think that's one of the greatest stunts I've seen
on film. Yeah,
that stunt, that toilet. Yeah,
it's a dope movie.
Yeah,
and like it was very well written too. Like everything, the flow, the pace, the editing. It was just one of those movies that's like it should be in your rotation for top 20 films, in my personal opinion. I watched it like 2 weeks ago, actually.
Yeah, cool.
It's just such a great movie. And then now that I know you're in it, oh, hey, now I know him.
And Billy Connolly's in it. Like,
legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hang out with him a little bit at all?
I did a little bit because we all our little trailers were beside each other, and he was so wild. He was so wacky. He's just like a great, fun guy. Yeah, always on. Just like the kind of guy who wants everybody to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, if I'm here, we're having fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's cool.
Good soul to bring up everybody's spirits.
The movie got a bum rap though. It got like a bum release. There was a bunch of darkness around its release because of the timing of it, but you have to internet that. You have to Google.
Yeah, I'll definitely Google that because it must have not done too bad because it got a sequel. So,
well, it did incredible on the merits of it as a movie. Mm-hmm. What I heard was there was like difficulty with the release because there was maybe some. Have you seen Overnight, the documentary? Okay, so
No.
Overnight, you got to see. It's a documentary about Boondock Saints. It's
Oh,
like if
okay.
you're a Boondock Saints fan, you got to
Yeah.
watch Overnight. And then
Okay.
that's all I need to say. We'll just watch
Okay.
that.
All
I'll
right. I have
explain it.
homework. All right.
Excellent documentary.
I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's head back to Star Trek for a little bit,
Sure.
and yeah, let's put out this pondry. We've got the universe of Star Trek being so diverse and so massive that often actors come back and play several different other aliens. Like one of my favorites is the character Wayoon, and that was actually done by Jeffrey Combs, and he's also done Liquidator Brunt. And so I'm a big Deep Space Nine fan. So you'll if you ever watch our show, you'll see me going, but in Deep Space Nine. So I always often equate, hey, people might not like it now. People didn't like Deep Space Nine, and now people go back to Deep Space Nine and go, damn, this was amazing, and it is. And I have a feeling that people are going to come back and look positively on your movie. So get ready for that, and you're going to be in demand. But if you had an opportunity, yeah, for sure, I'm telling you, if you had the opportunity to come back, is there like an alien that you'd want to play? Since you seem to be pretty chill with the prosthetics, you got your Klingons, which have a ton of stuff, mainly face and wig, and then you have the Borg, which are like the super cybernetic, where it's like you got a whole like skin tight costume with a ton of prosthetics on top of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Klingon would be awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Klingon.
I mean, you got the lighter ones, which are like Vulcans, just the ear and like a Mo Howard cut, like the
But
the
I don't know.
Romulans.
I don't think I could sell Vulcan.
Really?
Maybe with my eye, I do have crazy eyebrows if I really get into that.
Yeah. But the door's always open to come back to Trek, so hopefully we'll see you again.
But
you could be
it was always like if you had asked me before I'd ever worked on a Star Trek thing, the answer would have been Klingon. I'd be like, I could do Klingon, big scary looking guy, big forehead. They put all that Klingon-y stuff on my forehead. Look, I got a big. I'm sure prosthetic guys, designers must look at my head and be like, "Thank you, God. Look at the size of that melon. Oh my God, the melon on this guy."
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah. They love it. I mean, we have a
I actually think, Joe, I'll be honest with you. Probably the only reason why I got the job was because my head's so huge.
And the prosthetics just work so well. So there's like
they're like no, that guy. What's his name? Panud Pugungwe. That guy.
Oh my God, it's funny because your last name, I'm Joe P. You're Joe P. In reality. Yeah. And people always screw up my last name. It's very easy, but it's always something way off, like Rambo, and like Rambo, cool, but it's always something way off. And I'm sure.
How do you say your last name? How do you say
my real last name is Pombo, which is Portuguese.
Pombo.
See, yeah, Pombo.
Yeah. And nobody knows his name. That's why I put Pingue. That's why I put Pingue right there.
Yeah, which helps.
My wife's like, you shouldn't do that. It's kind of vain. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it because nobody knows how to say my goddamn name.
Yeah, it made me look better in the beginning because I said it right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean the Star Trek universe is so big, so for sure, if you ever came back, you wouldn't have to just be Dada Noe. You could be anything and anyone. So
well, and also I think they know, they're like, you know what, we could get this sucker to sit down for 5 hours and he's not gonna complain. They're like, you know what, he can do the work. And that is true. I will be honest, not it isn't for everybody. Like it isn't. But for me, I literally could sit down and meditate, and I'm working on something right now where the prep is like, it's about 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm working on something right now. So that's exciting.
We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. And so I just as long as they play good music and also like the artists that do that kind of work are very aware that it's difficult for someone to sit down for hours on end, and
Yeah.
they make you feel at ease.
Yes, you got to work with fellow Star Trek alum Colm Meaney in the fantasy
Yeah,
film A Lobster's Tale.
yeah,
It's more of a fun and easier. Is it more fun and easier working on a lower budget film that packs a powerful message?
yeah, for sure it is. Especially that film was like a family movie shot in the summer up in Lake District and up in Canada, beautiful cottage
Oh,
lakey area, pristine blue waters, and there'd be like campfires at the end of the day, and he'd tell stories, and
oh wow.
he yeah, there was like this there people brought their guitars and he'd be singing these Irish jigs and things like that. It was like I'm telling you, when I was saying like Billy Connolly, like the
Yeah.
like movie stars, they want everybody to be happy, and
Mm,
they turn it on for you, and it's all about having a good time.
that's
When the
awesome.
camera's not rolling, they want to have a great time with their crew because they're
Yeah,
good people, man. They make
that's
people,
awesome.
they bring people up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you had mentioned that you're working on something now. So what are your future plans? What is it that you're working on? Is there anything that you can
Well,
divulge? Or
Uh, it's the thing I'm working on. I can't really. I don't know if I can say what it is, but it's like a
mm.
Canadian indie movie,
Oh,
and there's a lot of violence in it, and uh, I do some prosthetic stuff
oh.
in it, and yeah, I can't. I don't know. I don't think I can say anything.
That's all right. That's all right. Hey, NDAs are
Yeah,
NDAs, and we understand that and we respect that. So
yeah,
for sure, when you're all done, come back. We'll hang out. We'll chat more about it.
sure.
Um, yeah. Joe, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Joe.
spending the time hanging out with us in the
Yeah,
Captain's Quadrant. I wish you
yeah,
great success, and we'll be following you. We want you
yeah.
to live long and prosper as always, and we
Oh
want to
yeah, I
spend.
did this, and you're like, you did. You know, I can only do it with this hand.
Oh,
Are
well,
you
whatever works.
are you supposed to do it with a particular hand?
I, I think it's the right hand because, like, I always think of
It's
first
the right
contact from the.
hand.
Yeah, I believe so. People will
It's really
comment
hard
if I'm
for me to do
wrong.
the right hand. Now, can you
Uh,
go this way or this way?
no, it has to be this way because if you do this, this is condescending. That's what we learned
Okay,
from
so
lower
it
decks.
has to be palm first.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at
Little,
that. That's not
little
good.
trek, little trek know-how for everybody.
But I can do it this way.
There you go. That works. Palm first, as long as you got it. Joe, great success for you, my
Yeah.
friend. And
Thanks, man.
we will be back. Big shout out to our Patreons on the transgressor level. We honor you, Holly Mack. We appreciate your patronage. And we will be back with more Section 31. And hopefully, Joe will come back in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to this Section 31 and a half interview brought to you by Cool Waters Productions, LLC. They are an incredible partner for the Captain's Quadrant, and we hope you visit their website, coolwatersprods.com, as they represent some of the most talented people in show business. From Aliens vs. Predator to our beloved Star Trek, there is something for every fan there on coolwaterprods.com. Head over to their website today, let them know that Captain's Quadrant sent you, and you may get a discount on some amazing signed merch from Cool Waters Productions, LLC.